And welcome back, Airwings Live with Hal Gill, your host, the passing show of the moment. This is August 24th, 2025, and we're going to head down to Sweet Green. Not going to go very far because just picking up salads for Len and me. Doing something healthy, doing something good for the organic farming as well, and because they do use local, organically farmed products. And the sweet green salads, we're getting harvest bowls. Mine heavily modified. Lynn's not so much. But we're doing what we can do. Stimulating the economy slightly. Just a little nudge. Life goes on. Actually, it's a lovely day. Crows migrating one place to another. Big flight of them. Steady stream. Going over Connecticut Avenue. I have no idea their destination offhand, but presumably they know what they're doing. Brighter image. It's been rehabbing itself. Bonbecket Cafe, formerly Bethesda Bagels, formerly Johnny Rockets. Maybe I'll just toil history. That's the aim of this, is just to provide a little primary documentation of the present moment, grabbing a little metadata about things as we go. Spa Salon Nails here. A lot of folks in Gold Chisel. Insults and comeback slides for all teams. Okay. Could be handy. Never know what you might see out on the passing show.
Really gentle Karen. Yeah, she's really vocal about how good.
Got a fair number of people eating at Seta Osteria. Lunch, brunch, dinner, happy hour, and events. Italian cuisine. Got Italian cuisine across the way as well with La Tomate. Italian bistro in place since 1987, I think, if I remember right. All right, we should have it.
Right there.
The world these kids are going to see. Things are moving quite rapidly on the AI front, it seems. So I'm paying attention to that, participating with it to some degree, sharing ideas with others. And, it's a debate, right? It's an open debate whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, but it's a thing. Kind of like when the automobile came up, and you see what's happened there. Certainly had a huge impact on the horses. And we retooled for change, which I think we still need to do. Retooling myself, thinking about what kind of credentials I need to get myself ahead in the world again. One of the things that could help a lot right now is for folks to pony up paid subscriptions to this Substack or others. Basically we can support each other. We could become the media, and we can really do a lot to just take in everything as it is. That can be contributed into AI models. And when they are, contributed into AI models that can help us to, train it to process accurately and think about the greater good of the greater number, of the greatest number. And we can be living in a utopia in relatively short order. That's my thought. I think a lot of people fear that it'll wipe us out, that we'll become extinct, that we're already atrophying from the dent of not having to go out and till the fields for our meals. Somebody does that for us. We've mechanized it. We've got factory farms these days. We've done some horrific things in terms of the environment. And all you have to do really is think about the manufacture of pork and beef and the suffering that's incurred on those critters, including the chickens. It's some really heavy duty consequences that we have going on here. And we ought to keep that in mind. Kind of saw a little bit of the market this morning and setting up when I did my first walk. And after that, I was exhausted and I decided to sleep away the better part of the day. My every cent spent is a vote for the kind of world we are co-creating. It's cute. And I go and get myself a sweet green. I'm using my Discover card, so I'm getting a penny back on every dollar. So I only pay 99% of value when it comes down to it. That's something to think about. Well, another thing to think about. I think I've got a lot of awards there, and usually for 90% of what I have, I can get 100% of gift cards from my wife to spend on things she likes and the department store she frequents. Okay, we should have it off about 5 minutes early, but with luck, let's see what we got. Oh, yeah. Gill?
Yep, right.
Oh, yeah.
You good?
There you go. Thank you. So, yeah, they source farmers and partners we know and trust. Proteins cooked using 100% EBU and an avocado change. I don't know what EVOO is. Got to educate myself. I think we're going to go back on the other side of the road so I can look into Kramer books while we go. Y'all might not care, but I do. Hey, Geraldine. They are overweight, fat, squeezed in tights, fat country from manufactured steak foods. Yeah. Happy Food, extra virgin olive oil. Oh, EVOO. Thank you. Very helpful. Thank all y'all for being a part of this. Joined. Okay. Nice to have all of you with us. 14. That's a fairly good number. This is where I bank. PNC. I've been banking there since I was in graduate school in Pittsburgh. And they now have a branch right here. Wasn't always the case. PNC bought Riggs Bank, which was there for years. And I think if they go back into the 19th century, there's consolidation in the banking industry. I think we need to think about that too. Blockchain, Bitcoin, all that. And keep in mind the shift in society. I'm not without resources at this point, but I will run out in a year or so, maybe less. And I'm certainly doing what I can to move the needle for others. I hope that some of you all will consider moving the needle for me. Being a paid subscriber at Harrowings is my one means of support at this point. I've got to find some other things to do, make income. flow in my direction. This is JF Books, mostly Chinese. That's a very interesting development, I think. And then they've got a used bookstore out here. And that's nice to have. Here's what Afterwards thinks we ought to be thinking about in terms of nonfiction. We're going to go past the fiction part as well. Stephen King's Never Flinch. Now, King is a great inspiration to many of us. Not barely scratching the surface, as harrowings is wont to do, of what I'm capable of. Kind of weighed down by type of mindset issue, the tendency to want to just pull back and hibernate. I alternate between these 2 points, hibernation and active behavior. It's kind of like a bear.
Well, it's teism, but they have to go.
Kind of like a bear. Got very bearish tendencies.
So they have really good quality.
Conserving energy. Another flight of crows out there. A big stream of them.
Yeah, but they have to go. But
Love to watch that. But should not look at it as an augury yesterday. Speaking of auguries, Lynn and I took some time to take in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, piece of fan fiction done as a Broadway play, which is very popular. The kiddies. It was very interesting, too, because without coming right out and saying so, they made a very strong indication that the main characters, Harry Potter's son and Draco Malfoy's son, were going to be having a relationship with each other, homosexual type. And not that there's anything wrong with that, as Seinfeld said. It was interesting to see it sort of very overtly out in the public eye without speaking its name. The love that shall not speak its name. In some ways, it might have been nice if it spoke its name. And we got less tiptoey around issues of who we love. I don't know. I just think everyone should be accepting of everyone, just the way we are. Wouldn't that be nice if everybody accepted everybody else just the way they are? I think it's quite possible. Oh, we got here, Seth. Oh, raindrops. Raindrops have begun falling on my head suddenly. Didn't expect that. It's all good. Keep watching. What else have we got? On the other side of the street, you can see some of the businesses. Copenhagen Card Shop and the Mimosa Salon, Blue Mercury, moves on Alero, Kazuya, a club. Street Commerce Design Consignment, Larry's Ice Cream. Been there a long time. Post office. That's relatively new to us, that post office is. They moved down from the building up ahead there, the one that sort of towers over the others. It's called Universal Building. And it's said that it's going to be converted into residences, but it's sitting pretty much empty now. Commercial real estate. Well, this little Lyft scooter decided to light itself up. Not sure what it's about. Lyft bikes. Ongoing traffic running up and down the Connecticut Avenue. Every cent spent, vote. Every trip we make, it's a cost.
One time.
I think I can get across in the time I have for light changes. There we go. We are across.
Mhm.
What else do we want to talk about today? We've had up to 14 of us here. Grateful for you all's presence on the passing show. Harrowings Live with Hal Gill, your host. People, very temporary beings we are. Not as temporary as dogs, but our lifespans are limited. Mine is right now at 62 years in the tooth. I'm expecting to have at least another 20, but I'm not sure. I don't know how it's all going to evolve. I don't know how it's going to all evolve. So need to get on with Raymond James, probably. Now that Len and I are well into our estate planning, we signed the paperwork, the trust has been established, and now it needs to be funded. And we have our lawyer working on the lease. I'm going to owe her more money, I believe. Not too long. I have paid her up with whatever invoice she provided, so I'm really happy about. I like supporting my friends, and she is a friend as well as a lawyer. I'm very satisfied with her work. I hope to have her on the show sometime soon. Rick Law, BRYK, law.com. Where to find her. If you need estate planning services, I highly recommend her. Wonderful human being in general. So glad she's still with us. About 10 years younger than me, so she'll be around in the business for a while. Very grateful for her in my life. Very grateful for my wife, too. I tell you what, without her, I don't know where I'd be right now. Probably be much more anxiously looking for employment. Well, so I'm working on preserving and protecting my father's legacy to the extent that I'm able. Got so much to do yet. The archives are really just buried me. I didn't get it all. I lost a lot. But, we did what we did with what we had. We released his stamp collection into the world through Keller Auctions in Connecticut. Boxed up 16 by 16 by 16 inch boxes and shipped them off to Connecticut. They were auctioned in December and then the last tranche in May or so. And so that's gone, that's done. I photographed just about everything, so I do have that. But it's kind of unorganized still. Let's see what books are here. Selected Poetry and Letters by George Gordon Lord Byron. That's mine. Ebola novel. I was turning these books around. Can't see what they are. Sleepover. And then El Amor en los Tiempos del Cólera. Love in the Time of Cholera. Okay. Picked up Lord Byron, Selected Poetry and Letters, introduction by Edward E. Walstetter, Fine Arts Company Incorporated. Valuable to me. And we're back at the bunker. Closing up shop. Wrapping up the passing show. Lovely crepe myrtle in bloom. Japanese maple, replacing our crab apple. The remnants of a dogwood that died. Its stump broken off after being allowed to rot here for quite a while. You can see the hole where it was. I still have one dogwood still standing and covering over the canopy. And that's about it, guys. Thanks for joining if you have. And to end the passing show here,